Everybody, welcome back. So last time we had gone over some basic functionality, and today we're going to go even more in depth. So let me create a new notebook right here. Okay. So I'm going to add this Mr. Beast dataset. This is the dataset that we're going to be working on today. Let's just let our Kaggle start. All right, looks like it started. So obviously, first what we are going to do is we are going to add it. So I'm going to call it sample beast, and then let's get the file path. I'm just doing this so that we can go over what we went on over last class. So we've now inputted the data by copying the file path. So do we remember what head did? Basically, it would show us the first five rows, but I failed to mention this last class. If you wanted to see more than the first five, you could specify how much. Say you wanted the first 12, just put 12 in the parentheses. Same thing goes for the tail, usually, sample beast. By default, it is 5, the last 5, but let's say we wanted to do the last 23. Now it will be the last 23. All right. And then we had also done sample beast dot dtype. It's dtypes. Whoops. Okay. So this shows you what type of data this is. Most of it is objects and floats, as you can see. And then we had also done the describe function. Yep. It would give you a rundown of your data, right? So today we are going to learn some new functionality. So let's first take a look at this data set. So obviously we have all of this. It's each video, right? Now let's say we wanted to take a specific look at only the view count. That's what we're interested in. You could specify that by doing sample beast and then view count. So now we will only get these indexes and then their respective view counts. Pretty cool, right? Now you can specify what kind of data you want. Now let's say we only want to look at this fourth row. That's the only row we're interested in. You would do sample beast dot lock and then 4. See, now we have everything about the fourth row. Yeah? All right. So now let's go back up to this data. So all these indexes right here on the very left-hand side, they're numbered 0 through 246. If we want to work with this data, that's not very useful. If we wanted to figure out maybe this video, because most likely we're going to have the video's ID. So we want to make this video ID the index that we access this by. So how we would do that is we would do sample beast equals sample beast set underscore index, and then ID. ID. So basically what we are doing here is we are reassigning the variable to itself, but we are setting the index, these numbers, that it's the ID. You'll see how it works. All right, so we didn't do anything, but now let's reprint the data set. As you can see, the numerical progression is gone. Now we can only access it by ID. And to see how that truly works, we will do sample beast.loc, and then remember how we did 4 to access the fourth one, right? Let's say we want to access the fourth one again. We wouldn't put down 4, we would put down this instead. Forgot the colon then. Right? So now we can only access it through its ID. Now let's say we're working with the rows. What about the columns? So the columns is pretty straightforward. See, now we have all the columns. All right, so this seems like a lot of columns. We don't need half of this data. Half of it isn't useful to us. We want to simplify it. So in order to do that, we have this list, right? So we are going to reassign sample beast to itself again. And then we're going to copy this. We only want it probably up until the comment count, but we don't really need the publish stat time or the kind stats. So, see, now we only have this data. So now let's reassign it to itself. Here we go. So now when we print it, it is only this simple data, right? A lot easier to understand. See, this was all of these columns. Now it's only this much. And let's say you want to figure out the specifics of how many columns and rows you have. You do sample beast.shape. So we have 247 rows and 6 columns. And you can see it as well down here. All right. So now let's say we want to filter this data. We only want, I don't know, maybe only the videos that have 1 million or more views. So how would we do that? Well, it's pretty simple. You would just do sample beast, and then we only want the view count, and we only want it to be greater than 1 million. Oop. Oh my god, I cannot spell today. There we go. So now, as you see, we're only getting Boolean values. It's only iterating through this data set. And it's only telling us true, false, etc. that it's greater than 1 million. That's helpful, but not exactly what we're looking for. So how would we reassign it? So let's say we want to make a new data set. We'll call this samplebeast.subset. And we will set it to our old sample beast. And then only want to look at the rows, right? And we only want to look at We only want to look at the rows and that have a view count greater than 1 million. So we would do sample beast.loc, and then we want sample beast, then another set of this. You want to do view count, and you only want it if it's greater than 1 million. What is this? Sample beast. Okay. Maybe that's it. Okay, so we can't use subset, just dot sub. Now if we print sample beast dot sub, now as you see we only have 203 rows, and these are only the videos that have greater than 1 million views. Now if, let's say we were to do 10 million. Let's run this. Now let's run this. Now we only have 189 rows. See? It's filtering our data. Now, if you don't understand completely this, that's fine, because there's a much easier way to do this. So, it's a much newer way. So, let's make a new variable, and then we'll set it equal to the old one, sample beast, the original one. And now we're going to query. And we only want to query those videos that have a view count of greater than 1 million. What is going on here? Subset.query. Let's see, what is this saying? Okay. You know what? Let's just not assign the new variable. Just do this. See, now we have those videos that only have greater than 1 million views. If you want to change it to 10 million, there you go. 100 million, there you go. You know? So, yeah, that is all I have to teach for today. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you took away something, and I hope that when you go to your own code that you will be able to do this very well. Thank you.